Sir, how you doing? How you, sir? Good, how you doing?
It is 6 o'clock. We'll open with roll call. Mr. Oglesby?
Here.
Ms. Reynolds? Here. Mr. Tracy? Ms. Jordan? Mr. Hardy?
Here.
Mr. Laturner?
Here.
Ms. Jackson? Here. If you'll join in the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on the meeting agenda, we have meeting minutes from March 3rd and fire department meeting minutes from March 13th.
I make a motion that we accept the meetings from the council minutes from the meeting, the minutes from the council meeting on 3/3/2025 and the fire department meeting on 3/13/2025, and place them on file.
We have a motion by Bob Laturner to approve the minutes and place on file.
Second.
Second by Jamie Jackson. All in favor? Any opposed? Next, we have bills to pay of $74,329.06. Any questions on the bills?
I make a motion that we appropriate the funds to pay the bills.
We have a motion by Bob Laturner to pay the bills.
Second.
Second by Neil Oglesby. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, first we have cemetery bid openings, so they're right here. All right, first bid is from 3C's Mowing, Chad Stapleton. Based out of Galena, Kansas. They have 6 employees. All right, Oak Hill, so if you recall, we were doing each 3 separate. We can award them separately, award them all together, however the council wishes. So Oak Hill, $80,000. This is for the term April 1st to March 31st of 26. Old Galena, $25,000. And Hillcrest, $20,000. All right, this is Prime Scene Property, Mickey Whitmire. I'll read you this letter that was included in this. There was nothing included in the other one, but I'll read this one. It's addressed to the Galena City Council. It says, we are proud to present our bid for grass care services throughout Galena's cemeteries. As a local company, our bid is driven by a sense of duty. These aren't just plots of land. Our family, friends, and loved ones rest there, and the cemetery's condition is a reflection on us all. We felt uneasy about last year's service quality, and this year we want to make a difference. With our current role maintaining another local cemetery, we are prepared to bring that same dedication to Galena with a fair bid to honor these spaces properly. In addition, every dollar you invest in us stays right here in this very same community, uplifting the very business owners that call this place home. Thank you for reviewing our proposal. I welcome the chance to discuss it further. All right, so Oak Hill, $46,000. Old Galena, $23,500. Hillcrest, $20,500. Oh yeah, 5 employees. And they are based out of Riverton, Kansas.
I have a question on that.
Yeah.
He said that it was for grass care. Does that not include the leaf removal in the winter?
Everything.
Yes, everything, yeah. I mean, that has to include all the bid, everything that was listed in the specs. Yep.
Thank you.
All right, the next. I don't know. right, I will read you this letter also that came with the bid. This is from Green Acre Lawn Care Incorporated out of Joplin, Missouri. And Buddy Allen, is it Farron? Anybody know? I think that's the last name. Looks like Farron. Says, Dear City of Galena, please accept the following bid for the 2025 mowing season for the 3 Galena cemeteries. Per your request of mowing the grass at a height of 2 1/2 inches to 3 inches, we believe that every 2 weeks will be sufficient. Our bid will be $170 per acre for each cemetery starting March 27th of 2025, every 2 weeks until October 23rd of 2025. Although weather will be a factor in determining how often the cemeteries will need mowed, we will bid it per each time the cemeteries are mowed. Please see enclosed proposal for cemetery maintenance. I have enclosed proof of auto insurance from American Family for the truck and trailer. Also enclosed is proof of insurance from the same company we have used for 20 plus years, Grinnell Mutual, which covers personal injury, property of the contractor, and property of others. We carry the max amount of insurance for a lawn care company in the state of Missouri at $2 million. Proof of insurance will all be established and accepted by the city prior to the start of the contract. Green Acre Lawn Care at the present time does not carry workers' compensation coverage in the state of Kansas, but upon acceptance of the said bid, proper coverage for the state of Kansas will be provided. Green Acre Lawn Care has been in business since 1978. Over the years, we have mowed cemeteries for Carterville, Webb City, Saginaw, and Brenau. We have been in the Joplin area since 1992, and some customers we have been mowing for since beginning in the Joplin area. The bid you received was determined by $170 an acre times said acreage of individual cemetery times 16 cuts for the summer gives you every 2 weeks. If you require more than this, it will cost more. Okay. If you require less, fees will be less. Depending on precipitation, some weeks the grass may grow faster. References are available upon request. So, Oak Hill would be $170. Well, no, he did some math. I'm just trying to see what the number is. So, price, is this the acreage?
Yeah.
And then that's the total times 16 times. Okay. Okay, so it's 170 an acre. Then he multiplied it by the acreage. Then multiply that by the 16 times. Now, he stops in October 23 of 25, and our request was through April, or the end of March. But anyway, so he has totals here. So that's 16 times. Oak Hill is $61,200. Old Galena, $25,840. And Hillcrest, $36,720. And he had just included the insurances that he mentioned.
How many employees does he have?
It says 3 to 5. 3 to 5 employees. And the last one. All right, this is Property Help. This is Ambry Services out of Springfield, Missouri.
Are these the people who did it last year?
Oak Hill Cemetery, $39,720. Old Galena, $16,092. And Hillcrest, $23,424.
Say those last two again, please.
Old Galena, $16,092. And Hillcrest, $23,424. They include their insurances in that. Oh, and they have 8 employees. Sorry, that was on the back. Property help out of Springfield, 8 employees.
Is that who mowed last year for us?
So we have 4 bids. We have that one, the property help. We have Greenacre Lawn Care out of Joplin. We have Prime Scene Property out of Riverton, and we have 3 C's Mowing out of Galena. You want to hear any numbers again? You want me to tally them up, all 3? Like I said, we don't have to, we can give it each one to different. We can do all of them to one.
Well, I wasn't real happy with the Springfield bid. I'd like to see us use a local contractor.
I'm going to do some padding just for myself.
It's about 10,000 between last year and this local. Can you read Mickey's letter again, please?
Yeah, hang on just a second. Which one?
Mickey's, I mean, that one's based on every other week, and we already know that's not gonna work, whatever, until it gets drought.
No, that's the wrong one. That's the Greenacre one. And they're the ones that also only went through October.
Yeah,
So that bid is.
So do you want to not even consider that one?
Greenacre?
Yeah,
I don't think
that
we
was the
should-
one that only went through October and said,
I don't think we should consider that.
okay, so we'll set this one.
I mean, we already know it's gonna end up being well above his number, because we know it's gonna end up being more than
Right.
16 mowings, so.
Right.
Yeah, if it rains in the summer, you could mow it every week.
Okay, what do you want,
Every 3 or 4 days.
Bob?
You want to read Nikki's letter?
Mickey,
The letter itself?
you please, yes.
The letter says, we are proud to present our bid for grass care services throughout Galena cemeteries. As a local company, our bid is driven by a sense of duty. These aren't just plots of land. Our family, friends, and loved ones rest there, and the cemetery's condition is a reflection on us all. We felt uneasy about last year's service quality, and this year we want to make a difference. With our current role maintaining another local cemetery, we are prepared to bring that same dedication to Galena with a fair bid to honor these spaces properly. In addition, every dollar you invest in us stays right here in this very same community, uplifting the very business owners that call this place home. Thank you for reviewing our proposal. I welcome the chance to discuss it further anytime. So the other 3 that we have, if we did it total, which again, you don't have to do it, but if we did it total all 3 C's mowing would be $125,000. Prime Scene Property would be $90,000, and Property Help would be $79,236.
I'm in agreement with Jamie on not using property help, someone that's not local.
Don't want last year's.
Yes.
So we okay with throwing that one out? All right, so we're down to 2. We've got Prime Scene Property and 3 C's Mowing.
125,000 versus 90,000.
Yep. So Old Galena and Hillcrest are pretty on par to each other. 3 C's is 25 at Old Galena. Prime Scene is 23.5 at Old Galena. Hillcrest is 20,000. Hillcrest or that was 3 C's. Hillcrest for Prime Scene is 20,500. Oak Hill, 3 C's is 80,000. Prime Scene is 46,000.
I think we should go with Prime Scene.
Is that a motion,
I make that
Jamie?
motion.
Do you have any other discussion?
I mean, I do get it, we do understand we're messing with about a mil right here, just differences between the 2. I mean, I can't say I love the idea either, but it's also about a mil.
Is that an in favor?
No, I'm not. I understand not liking it, but I also understand that you're talking about almost $11,000.
It's a chunk between the two.
Mm-hmm.
That's more than that. Or are you talking about
He's
just Oak
talking
Hill?
about Prime Stain.
The total,
The
all
Prime
three of
Stain
them.
one. Or is that what you're talking
Okay,
about?
I'm confused on what you're saying.
He's talking about.
I'm just saying, you
property
dropped the guy that you
held.
said from last year we don't like, and you're talking about,
Oh, so
Prime.
you're talking about this guy?
I'm talking about.
Okay, okay.
The other
I was
guy,
like,
yeah.
I'm not seeing that here.
I'm just saying you're still talking about a male, so.
I'm sorry, which two are you
He's
talking
talking
I'm
about?
talking about the one that you guys.
Right.
The property help from Springfield.
Springfield guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
But
the
I-
Springfield and.
We gotta also look at this as, this is a park for the city, right?
It's a
That's the
what?
way I look at it. This is no different than our city parks or anything else, taking care of the cemeteries. And we put a lot of money into them, right? We already know this guy's track record. I mean, he didn't leave a good taste in a lot of people's mouth last year.
Some,
You know,
I got it from both sides. Some people liked it, a lot of people didn't.
it was a
I'll
tough
tell
year,
you,
I'll agree with that.
That's been
last year.
every year of mowing.
I know, I mean, we're never happy.
Steve could attest to cemeteries, he does it all the time, you never make people happy.
Yeah, it won't matter who does it.
Yeah.
Labor Day weekend will be
It's very difficult.
complaints, no matter.
But it
what.
should be pristine, I would
It could be
argue
off of-
that
It could be AstroTurf.
the cemetery should look better than parks.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
We don't have the people to do it. That's
No,
the
I know,
problem.
but I'm saying, when you guys had it, I didn't see
Hopefully,
the complaints like we
going
had
with a
when
local
we passed
person
it.
who is vested because his family is out there, will make a difference this year, my thought.
I'm kinda going with that. I like to support local business. I live and die by people using local business. So I think we should, I'll second Jamie's motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Jamie Jackson. Jamie, that was crime scene, right? Okay. We have a motion by Jamie Jackson to go with crime scene property, for all three, is that correct?
Yes.
For a total bid of $90,000, we'll say the separate bids, Oak Hill was $46,000, Old Galena was $23,500, Hillcrest is $20,500. Bob, you second?
Yes.
That was the second by Bob LaTurner, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
One. We can hang on to all these. All right, in your packets, we have a resolution. This was brought up last time. I think Neil brought this up about naming the park after the Swartzes. They put a lot, many years, probably longer than a lot of us have, into not just upkeep of the park, and that was on their own, but watching it, they kind of policed the park themselves. Corky passed away a couple years ago, handful of years ago, and Mary just passed away December, January. So Candace wrote up a resolution. She could not be here tonight. She's out of town. But it says, a resolution seeking to name the Galena City Park located at 210 West 13th Street, Galena, Kansas, as the Swartz Park. This would be resolution 2503. And it says a resolution of the City Council of Galena, Kansas, naming the city park at 210 West 13th Street, Galena, Kansas, the Swartz Park. Whereas the City of Galena recognizes with respect and gratitude to Charles Corky and Mary Swartz for their significant contributions to the City of Galena Park Department and the community as a whole. Naming the city park located at 210 West 13th Street, Galena, Kansas, as the Swartz Park perpetuates the memory of this contribution and provides a sense of history for its future residents. Whereas the city seeks to recognize Charles Corky and Mary Swartz's achievements of extraordinary and lasting distinction, scholarship, creativity, leadership, humanitarian service, and public service. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of Galena, Kansas hereby names the city park located at 210 West 13th Street the Swartz Park. Passed and adopted by the City Council on the 17th day of March 2025, if you all agree.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Neil Oglesby to pass resolution 25-03, a second by Jamie Jackson. All in favor?
Absolutely.
Any opposed? All about at their meeting. Is that Chelsea?
Yeah.
You had that up, okay. Do you wanna take that?
So we had the finance meeting, and we're looking at the CDs that she had presented the last meeting. Our recommendation is, for one, we want to open a money market, account, to earn interest, let's see. Do I just make the motion? No, I just thought, okay. Motion to approve opening a money market account at Community Bank and Trust. Each month, funds will be transferred from the general checking account, ensuring a minimum balance of $500,000 stays in that general. The city clerk will have the authority to transfer funds as necessary. The authorized signers for this account would be Mayor Ashley Grove, City Clerk Tracy Roberts, President of Council Robert Lturner, and Treasurer Jerry Roberts.
Is that an individual motion or?
Yes,
So how much would that be earning
that's 1.36.
versus, are we earning anything right now?
No.
So nothing.
Second.
Any further discussion? Okay, so we have a motion by Chastity Reynolds, a second by Bob Lturner to, accept the recommendation by the Finance Committee, to open a money market account. Can we just add this to the minutes? Okay, and is that okay with everybody? Just have what they have typed up here? To the minutes, okay. Gaining 1.36% interest. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, the next one is on the cemetery perpetual care. We had 4 CDs that are at Baxter State Bank, and our recommendation was to move those, cash those in, take whatever penalties, which aren't going to add up to, I mean, even $1, because of the interest rate, and transferring those to Community Bank and Trust at a 4.04% interest, and putting them all into one. They were 4 separate ones. So my motion would be to withdraw and accept all penalties for the 4 certificates at Baxter State Bank for cemetery perpetual care. The total is $70,580.81, and these will be combined into one CD at CBT with an interest rate of 4.04. The accrued interest will be placed in the cemetery perpetual care interest fund. Signers on this account again are Mayor Ashley Grove, City Clerk Tracy Roberts, President of Council Robert Lturner, and Treasurer Jerry Roberts.
I have a question. On that perpetual care fund, do we know how much was the principal amount and how much has been interest gained over the years, or have we ever, that's been a mystery for as long as I
I
know.
can figure it, but not off the top of my
And
head.
We can't spend the money, but we can spend the interest.
Right, it's kept
Yes.
separately.
So we can spend the interest, but it has to be put right back into the fund or the line item that it was taken from. So we can spend it for, like this one specifically could be, I guess, cemetery usage stuff.
Yeah, right now it's not drawing much of anything.
0.01 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is that a motion, Chad?
Yes.
I second.
So we have a motion by Chastity Reynolds, a second by Jamie Jackson to withdraw, and accept the penalties for the CDs at Baxter State Bank, and move all of them into a CD at Community Bank and Trust, now gaining 4.04% interest. Yes, is that it? But we'll include this right in. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, next one we had, this will be economic development. We have 1, 2, 3 at Baxter State Bank, which totaled 117,674.47, and then there's one at Community Bank and Trust that was a 3-month that has 50,000 in it, but it's at 0.01% interest. So motion to approve the withdrawal and acceptance of all penalties for the remaining 3 certificates at Baxter State Bank totaling 117,674.47. Funds will be placed into the general fund and transferred to the Economic Development Fund for the purchase of a CD with an interest rate of 4.04, which is 6 months. The interest rate, or the interest earned, will be used for building incentives and other economic development incentives. Again, signers on the account will include Mayor Ashley Groves, City Clerk Tracy Roberts, President of Council Robert Lturner, and Treasurer Jerry Roberts.
Second.
We have a motion by Chastity Reynolds, a second by Bob LaTurner, to withdraw 3 CDs from Baxter State Bank and put into one new CD at 4.04% at Community Bank and Trust. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And the last one, let's see, we have 2 at American Bank, 3-month to 6-month, same situation, 0.1%, 0.15. And so the motion for those would be to approve the withdrawal and acceptance of all penalties for the certificate of deposit at Community Bank and Trust in the amount of $50,000. That was the one that was drawing 0.01% in the 3-month also. And to combine it with the $117,674.47 totaling $167,674.47. The funds will be placed into the general fund and transferred to the economic development fund.
I think you jumped between the two.
different ones.
I think it's the bottom one, 122,631.
You jumped from the bottom one back to the top one. You skipped it.
What do you mean?
Next to
Where
last
did
one.
167?
Well, all you did is
No,
you
we haven't
mentioned
done
that.
she hasn't
Fifty
done that one.
K
We haven't
person
done
here,
this
you're
one.
talking-
But she started.
Did I say?
You started reading about this one and talked about that one.
Are these not the 2?
I'm following along here.
Hold on.
She's on the right thing.
And combine it with the
You
117.
need to do the 50,000 at Community Bank to include with the economic development. one.
Yeah,
But you said.
Yeah, but you started on the
You started
one
on
at
the bottom
American
one,
Bank.
Yeah.
American Bank.
okay. Motion to approve the withdrawal and acceptance of all penalties for the certificate of deposit at CBT in the amount of $50,000 and to combine it with the $117,674.47 totaling $167,674.47. The funds will be placed in the general fund and transferred to the economic development fund for the purchase of a CD with an interest rate of 4.04. The interest earned will be used for building incentives and other economic development incentives. Signers on this account, again, will include Mayor Ashley Grove, City Clerk Tracy Roberts, President and Council Robert LaTurner, and Treasurer Jerry Roberts.
So this is for the same CD that we just mentioned above, but CBT has a CD of 50,000, so
Yes.
we'll just be getting more
Well,
off of our interest. Okay, so this is, withdrawing and accepting penalties for a $50,000 CD we currently have at CBT and adding it to the $117,674 CD, also at CBT.
Second.
We have a motion by Chastity, a second by Bob, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, the last one is the 2 CDs from American Bank, the 0.1 and 0.15. Motion to withdraw and accept all penalties for the 2 general fund American Bank certificates totaling $122,631.16. The funds will then be transferred back into the general fund at Community Bank and Trust. Sign it, oh no, it's going in general, so it won't matter.
Okay, so we have a motion by Chastity to withdraw and accept the penalties for 2 CDs at American Bank totaling $122,631.16, and those will then be transferred to the general fund.
Second.
Second by Bob LaTurner, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Is that it?
Yep. You guys talked about the open records ordinance and the GovTech.
Oh, yeah. I have
It's in the packet.
Okay.
Do you have it?
I got it here. So, we also discussed the GovTech, which we discussed last time, and recommendation from, the finance committee was to go ahead, move forward with, letting Tracy get started transferring over to, or get us on the list to transfer over to GovTech.
So the annual fee for 5 years is $18,650, and there's a one-time implementation of $21,400. The $18,650 would not be due until next year, so it wouldn't affect this year's budget. The $21,400 would be the only one.
21 for initial fee.
Yeah, for the implementation, so they can transfer all of our data, and it takes up to a year.
Yeah,
to do
that's the
that.
one we need to go ahead and move forward with so they can start transferring that data.
And what were we paying with, the current one?
So we got a small discount this year, but it was right at $17,000 what we paid this year
With the discount.
with the discount.
Is that a motion, Jessica?
Yes.
We have a motion, with the recommendation from the finance committee to switch software to GovTech. Authorizing the initial payment fee of $21,400 and then the annual fee after that. Roll call? Okay, let's do it in, yeah, one second.
Second.
Second by Bob the Turner. Let's do a roll call vote.
Mr. Oglesby?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. LaTurner?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Oh, wait, next one? Okay. Our next one we talked about in there was our, updating our record request ordinances. Do we have that in? Is that in our packet too? Most of it's just moving forward with kind of updating on men's. Tracy, if you wanna bring up any particulars? I think it was just basically
It's just
updating the
updating, because it hasn't been
ordinances.
updated since the 80s.
Yeah, so, there was nothing substantial really. We just brought it up because it was something updated in finance, so.
Did everyone have a chance to read over everything? Any discussion? Or any questions?
Looks like it's definitely needed update.
What ordinance would that be?
The 25-03.
So the ordinance 25-03 would just be the update, it- yeah.
We use 25-03 for the,
That was
That was
resolution.
a
resolution.
That was the resolution.
This is an ordinance.
never mind.
It's all right. So it includes things, like who the custodians are, the purpose, procedures for inspection, and this isn't new, this was in there, it's just updated. Facilities for public inspection, I'm just reviewing a few of these. Inspection fee, fee administration, computer data, how to make payments, exceptions, and so on. That's what all of this would include, so it's just a link to all of that.
I make a motion to accept ordinance 25-03, updating our records request.
Second.
We have a motion by Neil Oglesby to accept ordinance 25-03, a second by Chastity Reynolds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Anything else?
No.
That it? Alright. Mrs. Brewer? Yes, come on up.
hear me or not, but anyway, on the 13th, Thursday evening, there was a pit bull, Liz directed back to me by Paul Martin, the owner. It was attacking a chihuahua. We knew it was gonna end up killing it. I was screaming at Adam, Adams was there before them. She was yelling, I ran back and I said, that pit bull is gonna kill another one of them chihuahuas. It killed one last week. And I think it was her husband that came down and jumped across the fence and yelled at the pit bull and it stopped. The chihuahua got up and ran into the house. Police came, and for some reason, they didn't take the pit bull. They said they couldn't take it, and that he brought four of the chihuahuas out individually, showing the police there's no harm done here, but he's got 7. He's got 7 little chihuahuas, a pit bull, and a bulldog. The week before I came here on my own, it killed one of them. We've seen it crying and just limber. My boyfriend went around to the front of the house, banged on the door. He said they got it all barricaded. You can't even get in. He kept banging on the door, so he went to the garage, and his son came out, and he said, your pit bull just killed a chihuahua. And he came around the back, and he kicked the pit bull. And I don't know what he done with chihuahua. As lazy as they are, he probably threw the little dog in the trash. They won't clean their yard up. You've had all kinds of trouble with them. And I came down here that Thursday or Wednesday, and came down here, and the pet man that picks up the pet dog catcher was standing there with a police officer, and I told them a pit bull just killed a chihuahua right behind us, but nothing was done. I don't understand why something cannot be done. He's far above the ordinance of having pets.
Chief, I know you've been working on this.
Yes.
Can you update us on what has been done
so-
or where we're at legally?
Yeah, so where we're at in this particular matter is the animal control officer has cited the resident there for the prohibited animal within the city limits. He's also cited him for a vicious animal. And then also he's saying, so there's always, 2 sides to every story, obviously. And also he's saying that the other dogs don't belong to him, they belong to his daughter. So, and as far as the pit bull, he's claiming the pit bull to be a service animal, which kind of hand ties us on a lot of things till we can actually prove whether or not that animal is a service animal. So by citing him, that'll get him into court and let a judge, he'll have to prove to a judge that that's a service animal that we can't just go remove, we have no legal ramifications to go in his house without a search warrant.
But why didn't he show you the papers on the dog if it was?
We asked for the papers and he says that they're in the mail.
No.
But once he makes that claim, then we, obviously, we took the action. We wrote the citations based upon witnesses' statements on the vicious dog because we didn't observe the attack and didn't observe any evidence of the attacks. So, best case scenario is what I feel like we did, which was cite him, get him into court, and the judge makes the determination from that point forward. He says that the other dogs will be gone in the next 10 days. Whether that's the case or not, I don't know that. And he also got cited for not having city animal tags for the animals as well. So he's got 9 tickets, I think, pending with the courts here.
Have you seen the dog since?
No.
I haven't either.
He's keeping all of them in the house now.
None of the dogs are all in the house.
They're all in the house.
That's why, have you been back out to check on the welfare
And
of the dog?
a lot of it, to be honest with you, after talking to the county attorney and a couple other attorneys, the problem that we have is this all occurs on his land. It's occurring at his residence inside his property lines, and so that really kind of.
So the dogs aren't at large?
No.
They
They haven't
have
attacked
been.
anybody. We have no case in CAD at all referring, this was the first, as far as a CAD call where I could go back and look at a call history saying this dog has been a problem in the past. There was nothing for me to go on based upon that system, which is what I'd have to, it's the only thing I could testify to in a court, is that.
Is his daughter living in that residence?
I don't know the answer to that.
She was, she's not
Because then
now.
it throws the dog number way out of
Yeah.
kilter.
Well, I think it's per ordinance, it's 3 per
It
house.
is,
Yeah.
it's three,
Yeah,
all right.
so, yeah.
And I did get several calls from some of the other neighbors in there and messages that they have seen the dog at large, which I said the minute it's out again, call the police, because it does get out the front door, it gets out the fence, and a lot of them are concerned about their kids, they don't walk that road anymore because the dogs come out of the road at them, and it's just been an ongoing problem.
You mentioned he said he had papers coming in the mail.
Yeah.
What, is that something we can ask for proof for?
Yeah, I think when he comes to court, he's gonna have to show the judge that he has the proper documentation that that's a service animal, or it's not.
Doesn't a vicious dog report negate service animal then?
It should, I think if it attacked, a person or somebody else with a problem, like I said, when we're getting advice from attorneys, that they're saying that this all happened on his own, we don't have a bystander as a victim, I guess is what you would say, so.
I hate to wait for a bystander to be a
No,
victim.
and- Yeah, and I do too, but like I said, as far as what we can do legally, we've done that. I mean, he's been cited for the violations and then,
So if the dog continues to kill the other chihuahuas, we can't do nothing about it?
I mean, we can still, we cite him under the vicious animal ordinance, but we didn't see any we saw no proof that there was a dead chihuahua anywhere. I mean, and the
That was
officers.
the week before, and I came down here, but nothing happened.
Did you guys go out there then?
I have no idea. Like I said, there's
So-
nothing in CAD that we responded to anything other than Thursday.
So would it be, I don't know exactly how the court works, but would it be beneficial at all for neighbors to show up at court that day? I mean, would the judge let them, allow them to speak?
At least one or two of them are gonna have to be there because we didn't witness the dog being vicious, so.
So that a judge would allow them to speak or something?
Correct,
probably?
yeah,
I
one
wonder
of them
is-
filled out a statement form, I don't know who.
I do.
who the-
Okay.
Okay.
But when will we, how do we know when they?
You'll get a subpoena, they'll
Okay.
subpoena you, yeah.
Okay.
Once the tickets go, so they go, once we write the citations, then it goes to the court clerk, and then he'll get everything set for trial or whatever, and then you guys get your subpoenas if you're listed as witnesses, which I know you are because you guys filled out witness statements. So, like I said, we weren't there, we didn't witness the attack firsthand, or it'd probably be a little bit different story.
I'm curious too, just to I want to make sure I'm clear on this. None of you would go to him or his daughter and say, well, this neighbor said this, because they're claiming that one of them has said that Billy Adams complained 8 times, and she's never complained 8 times. She's complained maybe 1 complaint, but they said you told them that she had called 8 times down here. And she's like, well, I don't think they actually told you that. But I wanna make sure you're not going out there and saying, well, this neighbor said that, and this neighbor said that.
No, we're not doing that, but you gotta understand, he's gonna know it's come from somewhere.
Well, yeah, and I don't even care that he
Right,
knows, but we
right.
don't want an officer out there trying to throw people under the bus.
No, I agree, and like I said, I feel like at this point, like, the judge needs to make the determination on what the next
And how
steps are.
soon will that be, do you think?
Yeah,
They
when
meet
the
month-
court date's gonna be.
Cause it's really hard for the neighbor to sit around and watch this dog kill another dog right in front of your kids, you know,
I
it's
think the
it's
next
awful.
court date is, April 11th. I don't know if they wrote the tickets for that day, but.
That's the next court date? Or you think
I
that one
believe
would
so.
fall on that date?
I'm gonna ask one more question.
Go ahead.
So if you show up at my house and I got 5, 6 dogs, you can't take down to 3
Apparently
when
not.
you're right there?
Mm-hmm.
So the problem is we can't take them, and the big reason for that is it's a huge cost to the city. I've showed up with, houses with 13 dogs and suggested going to the Humane Society
It's
themselves.
$200 per
We're
dog to
talking
take them to.
thousands of dollars.
The cost of the city.
And so it's not necessarily even just that. We also fall under the guideline of like having to write a 10-day letter, which I know you mentioned. She said 10 days. That's not just that she said. We gave them a 10-day letter. So at the end of that 10 days, if they haven't done anything, then we
Go
can write
back out there
tickets
then
for it.
at the end of the 10 days.
Yeah.
But outside of that, the judge is just gonna tell them they have to get rid of the dog and they'll have to pay their court costs, which in the end is kind of better, I think, all the way around for the city because we're not incurring a cost from the city to go inoculate them at the Humane Society and all that good stuff too. The costs are going straight to the court, the money's coming to us rather than that, and it'll keep happening until he fixes the situation.
Well, if they take the pit bull away from him, he's still got over the ordinance. So what happens then?
Yeah, he'll be cited.
He'll
for
be
every
cited
dog
every
that-
time.
You mean he has, something's got to be filled out again in order to have something done about those other?
Well, you don't have to fill out anything again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
No,
wouldn't.
our animal control can cite him on his
Yeah,
own.
Yeah, yeah. And so then every time they get a citation, they'll have to
The
go
only
back to
reason why
court.
you guys had to do witness stuff before is because of the vicious dog attack. We didn't witness it, so you have to be our eyes and ears when that happens, and then you can go tell the judge what you guys saw, and then he can take that into consideration. I can't say, well, this is what she said happened, and then it gets into she said, he said, and then, and like I said, when he starts claiming service animal and that stuff, then we go a whole different path that we have to make sure that we're doing what we need to do too, so.
Cause even just to clarify that a little bit, the judge and an attorney can ask for that documentation. We're not even allowed to ask for it. There's 2 questions by federal guidelines that we're allowed to ask, and asking for them to provide documentation saying that it's proving that it's an emotional or a support animal at all. We can't ask that. We can just ask them if it is in fact a support animal, and if they say it is, we can say what task have they been trained to perform. Outside of that, it's a HIPAA violation because it's kind of identifying what is wrong with the person medically, and we can't get into that. So a judge can ask for that information and require them to say it, but we can't.
But you don't have, a service animal is not registered. There is no documentation. You can take your pet and you can pay a company and give them money to say your dog, your pet is a service animal. If I was to have a service animal, I don't have to have it licensed. I don't have to have a special fee or a special permit for it or whatever, because there is no document, there's nothing for that.
Is anyone here from his family?
So I would hope that's where the judge would step in based on the viciousness of the dog and say, service dog or not, that needs to go away from a neighborhood.
Yeah, I think, and I can't predict what the judge is gonna do, but I would like to think the same thing. If they have statements saying that the dog viciously attacked another dog, then, like I said, I'm just worried about it being on his, since I know it sounds horrible, but it didn't happen it happened on his own property and his own animals involved, so.
That changes everything when a dog is at large or in its own
It changes what we can do as police officers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if that was the case, we could just take it and go stick it in the kennel immediately. That's a whole different story.
If I seen him killing it again out there, I'd still call the police down there.
No, 100%, well, yeah, or video, or, take video of it or something, whatever you can do.
But you should get a subpoena, correct, for court, or a letter or something. I don't know if subpoena is the right word, but a letter for court.
Yep.
If he comes through with papers saying he applied for, the service dog, and they happen to be dated just like he applied for them now, wouldn't that kind of tell them too that?
He got a ticket for the vicious, no matter what, he's got that ticket, so, the only way the judge is gonna get him off of that is if he doesn't believe your guys' story or, something that realm. I think with you guys seeing the attack, and I think that would be enough.
2 men in the neighborhood seen it.
Yeah.
Her husband, me, my boyfriend, the people to the west of him, we were all out there screaming. But yet this dog's supposed to be his ears.
Yeah. I asked about that, and I asked an attorney about that, and they said any animal can be deemed a service animal. It doesn't even have to be a dog. Any. Because my question was, a pit bull can be a service dog. They said any animal. It doesn't have to be even a dog. Yeah.
Well, obviously, he's not doing his job because cops were knocking on the front door and the dog never barked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it puts us in, we felt horrible that it happened, we felt bad for you, and we wish there was more we could do, but I was actually working until 10 o'clock at night, still, was trying to figure out the best way to move forward, so I had to kind of go through the realms of making sure we do the right thing, but I think in the long run, it'll work itself out.
Did we cite him for the yard while we were there? Because I noticed it was bad.
I don't know, I know he's on the code, I know there is some code violation stuff that I know Robert had.
I noticed
He's got
no tags on their vehicles either. I didn't know if that's something we can pursue as well. Sad we all have to pay our taxes and tell our cars and insurance
He has it's a canopy thing that he had in his yard. Well, the wind took it across part of it's hanging in my yard, and it's in his yard, and he has not done nothing to get that loose to take it back.
Call the agenda, please.
Yep. Well, if you see any of the neighbors see any other issues, call in. If you witness anything, I think the chief even said, video it if you can. I mean, if that's something you're able to do, because it may go too quick for somebody to respond. But then show up to court when he gets cited, and as long as he has that many dogs, he'll keep getting cited for it, so.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Josh, department heads.
Well, why don't you start us out, Mayor, on the school, last school board meeting, school approved their portion of chipping in on pickleball courts.
Yeah, so we brought this up months ago, talking about pickleball courts in town. It's a very, I don't know, active thing right now. A lot of people in the area, probably worldwide really, like to do it. Baxter has courts, Joplin has courts, and they're packed all the time in the nice weather. So Josh and I, with Doug Holbert, who is the maintenance supervisor at the school, we looked at some options. The city doesn't really have any property that it would work well on. School does. So kind of like working like with the track, the track is the schools, but it's open to the community outside of school hours. So we looked at some land right next, what side would that be on?
West side.
West side of the practice football field, on the back side of the parking lot.
North of the practice football field, west of the parking lot.
Okay,
So, yeah.
what he said.
Area where they're
Yeah, it's kind of a gravel area right now, right there. But we talked with them and do like a partnership. So Josh got some bids for concrete. We did the specs and everything, and talked it out. It would be, what was the bid on the concrete?
I've only got one, $31,900. It's a little more than I told you because I went over to Baxter and measured theirs, and they had a 10-foot buffer on all sides of their courts that I wasn't figuring in. So that would be 2 courts. The courts are 20 by 44, and that's 10 feet on each side. So 10 feet between them, 10 feet on both sides and the back of each court. So $31,900. That's through Anderson's Contracting. I did try to solicit a couple more bids. He's the only one that got me a price back. He also did the pad for both of our pavilions at Schwartz Park, and our sidewalk between the pool and the parking lot does get work. But then if we do the concrete, then the school's gonna supply all of the labor to get everything prepped, get it painted. They're gonna buy the nets, put the fencing up, and those type of things.
Gonna be lit?
Not
That's a popular
right
question.
now. Yeah, that's been a popular question. Not at first, but we thought that's something later on, because there would be more room for additional courts later on down the road if that's something that we ever wanted to do. But we thought right now, especially summertime, you can still play till 9 o'clock easily, and the lights in the parking lot would add some anyway. So that's not something
And
currently.
we do have lights. The city has some lights that were donated to us from Owens Corning. Nice new LED lights that could be used for that. And I've got to get with Doug on that, but we could take them to them and they could install them. I mean, they're big street lights that need to be buried, mounted, and wired. So lighting is possible. Yeah.
So there's just no room down at our city park for anything like that?
The only place we did look at, where the tennis, volleyball, whatever it was, but we don't have hardly any parking already. So that would take out almost all of our parking or anything else we did down there. And we don't feel like that would be a great idea.
And the other side of the basketball courts kind of gets into the drainage that's in there. So all of that from behind the housing and down, you start filling that in, you've got stormwater problems.
Well, I like that idea. I was on Joplin and played pickleball in Columbus. I kind of sucked, but it's fun.
I mean, give something else for people to do. Like I said, get out and about. Adds to the park idea a little bit. It would be closed during school time, but that would be it. It would be open all other times. So, what do you all think?
Could we put a cornhole field in there too?
Field?
Whatever you want.
You can put cornhole anywhere you got 2 flat spots,
Bring your
right?
boards anywhere, Bob.
That's what I'm saying, we could make it out of metal and it could be permanent. People could just go play cornhole when they want.
I think it was Baxter Vault that made concrete cornhole ones For Baxter.
The concrete ones?
They're like $400.
Well, Bob, I apologize. I
Spider-Man
thought
in
you were
there.
crazy.
Hey.
It's not a hole going into the earth. It's-
Pardon?
Where's that at?
Kiwanis Park, where Mackenzie lives.
Way to throw me out there. Thank you.
You find
She's the
form.
park
You
ranger,
can do about it.
okay? She's the park ranger.
Yeah, about those two. Just not on the pickleball courts.
We can put those in city park somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Every time we have a family get together, everybody wants to play corner.
We could probably put those on the west side of the pavilion down there somewhere.
So we'll call Baxter Vault and see.
Okay, let's look into that.
Neil has a source too, he might be able to get them.
For pickleball, or pickleball. What's that called? Cornhole. Cornhole, yeah.
So if you guys wanna accept this bid, we'll have to do a roll call vote. It is under the $50,000 KSA, but over the city's amount, so we'll have to do a roll call vote.
So what's the school paying for, just the nets?
Nets, painting,
All the labor to put it.
the labor to put the fencing, all that up.
When Baxter put theirs in, they used like a 5-gallon buckets, like a paint is like $105, and they used like 35 buckets of paint.
Ours could be a little bit nicer than that though, because Baxter used asphalt. So ours will last a little longer. Won't be as big.
And it's gonna be on the school property, but I think community will get more use out of it than the school. I mean, it would be open for PE times or, you know, whatever they wanted to use it for, but I think more community members would
It
use it.
has a little bit to do with security too, because everything we put at the park gets damaged, every single thing that we put down there.
But
And
most of
it's
the
gonna
stuff
be
gets
on-
damaged at school.
It'll be on camera at the school, that'll be helpful. The school has way nicer cameras than I've seen access to.
So if that's something you would like to move forward with, if you would like to table it and come back to it, if you would not like to move forward with it,
You know, I just think 35 grand is a lot of money throwing at one event deal that is, you still got to specially go to the school. You know, if I'm playing pickleball, I don't have any kids young enough anymore to worry about, but there again, they're not gonna do anything else but go out and dig up on the practice football field while they're out there. You know, there's no other really event for them to, like if that's down at the pool, they could be on the playground equipment or anything like that.
oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Or even when my kids are in the pool in the summer, I could be pickleballing if I would do something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think my body's built for something like that.
It is.
I'm like, you're not pickleballing in 100-degree heat anyway, Warren.
I'm gonna use a different word there if I'm doing it. Fireballing it.
Did you say fireball?
Where's this in budget wise?
This is take it out of the equipment fund.
Well, didn't the splash still come from a lot of fundraising?
Yeah, splash pad, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of Fort Tracy's fundraising? You know, so, I mean, I wouldn't be objected to letting somebody run with this as a fundraiser.
Not Tracy.
Tracy does.
I do, we still don't have a splash pad.
But,
I do go
I mean, it's
to
just-
That's where your transient guest tax comes in.
Yeah, if I get the guest tax.
So you wanna wait about 10 years is what you're saying?
Well, I'll be a little grayer, yeah.
You may not be here in 10 years.
Oh. I got 20, but.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm for it.
I'm for it.
I don't know are we voting or what are we doing?
Well, to move forward, we'd have to have a motion. If you don't wanna do it, we just move on.
I'll
If you
make a
wanna
motion.
table it, we table it.
I'll make a motion to move forward with it.
Second.
With the equipment fund.
So we have a motion by Bob Turner to move forward with the bid, what do you say the bid again?
$31,900,
$31,900 from
Anderson's contract.
Anderson Contracting.
And we got the money for this, right?
That was second by Jamie?
Yep.
Second by Jamie Jackson. Roll call vote.
Mr. Ogilvy?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
No.
Mr. LaTurner?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Lauren, if I bought you some Fireball, would you have voted yes?
That's
not a bribe,
That's
that's
the
not a
rules.
bribe.
You can't drink while there.
You want to play pickleball?
Anything else, Josh?
One more, so the two pavilions at Schwartz Park, it's gonna take a minute.
Yeah.
I was asked to get a quote on providing power to those for lighting, and I think they're gonna put an outlet on the middle columns of each pavilion, 4 total GFI outlets. So I've got a quote here from Jag Electric for $6,767.93.
How much was it?
$67.93. So that'll be both pavilions. The one, Empire or Liberty's gonna set a new service drop on the inside, the one that's inside the walking track. The other one will come off the pole right by the pool and trench over to it.
Is that an average price? That seems high to me, but I don't know much about electric.
We can try to get some more bids. I mean, we can't really.
That is too bad.
Open, but
That's not a bad price.
No. How many feet you plan on running from between pavilions and?
Well, the one pavilion's clear across the river from the other one.
25 feet around, one of them's 120.
One's 120
Yeah.
feet.
Well, that's not bad.
And these are nice, lit around UFO type LED lights.
I think it'd be
There'll be
nice.
4 lights in each pavilion.
Wiring gonna be buried or?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sure they'll have the temperature will be adjustable on them.
That might help with,
It'll be on a
That'll
photo.
help with a lot of damage,
yeah, damage.
I make a motion for that.
Second.
So, I get one question, do we have a way to control the outlets? Are they gonna be on a separate breaker or something, so they don't have to be on all the time?
We can turn them off.
Are you requesting that, Neil?
I would.
They're all gonna be, they'll be on breakers, just like they are now. We've got drops there.
I'm just saying, if somebody wants to use it and they need it, I think that's when we turn it on, other than that, it needs to stay off.
Would you rather leave the
I
outlets?
haven't people.
I don't mind an outlet, I just think it needs to have the
Place
ability.
plug your hot tub in.
I said, hey, you're right.
You just need to have the ability not to be right.
See me over there into that pavilion.
Lauren, did you make the motion?
Yes,
Okay, we have a motion by Lauren Harding, a second by Bob, correct, Bob LaTurner, to go with Jag Electric for the light pavilions for $6,767.93.
Park fund, Josh.
Yeah, roll call.
Roll call vote.
Mr. Oglesby,
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds,
Yes.
Mr. Harding,
Yes.
Mr. LaTurner,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson.
Yes.
Got it? Fire department.
Just a couple FYIs, starting to get a little busy, we're up to 105 calls so far, grass fire season's kind of starting to kick in. And as of Thursday, we got brush one back from the manufacturer, that was the one that got hit by the tractor, so, all the equipment's loaded back on it and got all 3 brush trucks back in service, so, the nick of time.
Yeah, how's it been with the wind?
Actually, we've not been too bad, nothing like down south, so.
Yeah.
So what is the protocol now if I wanna start my brush pile on fire?
Well, the county doesn't have a burn ban right now, but obviously we suggest until we get some rain not to do it, because it's, I mean.
But if it rained tomorrow,
If it rains, if we get any significant rain, I mean, we may be okay.
then I call
Stuff's
city
starting to green up a little
and
bit.
tell you I'm burning it still.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Nothing always,
don't,
right?
we don't issue burn permits, but we actually still require you to call in, so at least we'll know. And the biggest reason for that is if the county, if you call 911, they may call up there, and then we already know about it, so we're not gonna run, all across the county trying to fire.
Are we supposed to call if we burn our leaves and stuff? Oh, it's nowhere.
Yeah, any fire.
I know, I'll
call.
post that, cause I don't know if what. So, no permit issued, but call.
Quit doing it.
Okay. Anything else? Alright, police department.
From March 4th to March 17th, as you guys know, I've been doing every 2 weeks, putting our what we're doing at the department out to the public. So this will go on our Facebook page as well, but for this March 4th to today, we responded to 92 calls for service. Have taken 20 reports, and then it's done 11 agency assist, made 6 arrests, including 1 felony drug arrest. And, let's see, that's about where we're at. I did, as you guys know, I've been trying to get staffing levels where they need to be. So I did offer a full-time spot to a lady today. So we'll get her through the personnel, human resource stuff, and then hopefully get her in the next academy class, and then, get her out on the streets. I think she'd be a good one for our school, so I'm looking at maybe, putting her in the school, so. But that puts us really at just one spot now below full staffing, so that's my third hire in less than 3 months.
Great. No, I think that's great. Awesome. Anything else, Chief?
Nope.
City Clerk.
We have a variance application or request form from Brian and Misty Williams. They own the lot at 1703 Short. They need an 8-foot variance in order to set their modular home in. I've got all their paperwork right here if anybody wants to look at it. They've actually got the pins and everything set. Josh, you wanna tell them about? We thought about vacating the alley, but there's sewer in the alley, so that can't be done.
Yeah, I didn't think about vacating the alley. I knew the sewer was there. But
Right,
they
well,
thought about it.
right.
So what
right.
the situation will be what is the code's 8 foot off the alley, 15 feet from the street? Is that right?
10 and 15.
10 and 15.
Mayor, if I may, sorry, the property owner is actually Deborah Kersey, and I'm representing her, if you have questions for me.
Okay, well, look.
So, in that location, I don't think it's gonna be an issue with this variance because it is a corner lot, but they're gonna be in far enough, they're gonna meet that requirement. So it'll be off the front of the street. Short Street on the 1700 block is much wider than what is paved, so they're still gonna be 20 feet or so off the
It's further
pavement.
than that.
So-
Okay.
I went up and looked at where the survey pins were and where it's gonna sit with this. They had it dug, I believe, in a different area, but with this variance, it'll still allow us room to service the water and sewer line that's in the alley and be plenty far back from the street.
No issue with the site or anything, like driving.
Now, I mean, it's better than it has ever been because they cleared it off. It was just a forest there you couldn't see around, so.
I went up and looked at it too, I thought, okay.
$200,000 building.
280.
Yeah, it's a very nice home.
Nothing is
Very
there
nice.
right now.
No.
It's vacant now, but it's improved because it was like all overgrown and now
Right.
We're just asking for a variance on the alley side?
it's 4 feet on the street side, right, and then
4 feet on the alley side and
four on the alley and what
4
was
and
the other?
4. It's 8 foot total.
I think it's gonna be a.
And it's not even gonna sit on the alley.
Oh,
yeah.
We have buildings that sit right on
And
the
a tax
alley.
base.
Yes.
Why would we not?
I'll make a motion. Grant the variance. What was
We're
the
not
address?
building a porch or anything on the back of it?
We're not, no.
1703
Okay.
Short.
I just-
1703.
If you only got 4 foot, it'd be kinda hard to build anything off the back of it.
Well, they'll still have 6 feet.
Okay.
There won't
Just
be
don't
any
say.
porches.
Property line.
Yeah, there's no
They're gonna be
porches.
6 feet in, within their own property line.
Okay.
She's got tons of property on the sides of the
Yeah.
as well to do any of her outdoor stuff.
So we have a motion by Neil Oglesby to allow the variance of
Second.
8 foot at 1703 Short. Was that Bob or? Okay. Second by Bob Laturner. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
That is all I have.
That's it? Okay. Anybody wanna go?
Time to go?
Yep.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion by Neil Oglesby, a second by Jamie Jackson to adjourn. All in favor? Any opposed?